Has sampling gotten lazy? So before I talk about what sparked this conversation and the video that sparked this conversation and why this conversation annoys me, let me break down what sampling actually is. Now there is a difference between sampling and interpolation, and I'm going to break those down real quick. Sampling is pretty simple. It's when you take a piece of like a pre-existing sound, whether it's like train tracks or a song, and you make it into a new musical element. It's literally like the building block, what I'm saying, to a song and stuff like that. That's pretty simple. You just take a sample of something and then you make it into a new piece of art. It's pretty simple. Now, people seem to get sampling and interpolation mixed up. Sampling and interpolation, they from like the same family, but they different. You feel me? Like interpolation is like incorporating a portion of a existing song or melody into like a new song. You know what I'm saying? But instead of like sampling it, taking it from that song, you're just like mimicking like the melody. So like an example would be like Seven Rings by Ariana Grande. She like did it from the Sound of Music. Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. It interpolated Stevie Wonder's Pastime Paradise. Pop Smoke's Got It On Me interpolates Mini Man by 50 Cent. Like we can go on and on. Like Drake, Chicago Freestyle interpolates Superman by Eminem. Like we can go on and on. Shabuzi's his bar song definitely interpolates Tipsy by Jaquan. Like I can go on. But the thing is, that's the difference between sampling and interpolation. And the reason why I wanted to break that down is a lot of people seem to be getting it confused when having this conversation. But let me get into the video that sparked me to even sit down and record this whole episode.
They're sampling like hell now too, though. Especially the girls, like redoing songs.
Man,
hate it. Is that you don't like that?
Hate it.
Why?
No creativity. But nowadays, niggas is just
that shit sound exactly the same.
Taking the sample,
all right,
doing a high pass and putting 808 on that hoe.
Y'all not doing that?
Like if I'm in a session, they asking me like this is what we want. Yeah. I just for a check.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, I do it. Yeah, because I'm finna slap your ass with a number. Like
right.
So it's like
I ain't going outside.
You ain't doing it.
It ain't going outside, nigga. Getting a bag.
Something's funny as hell, bro.
It ain't going outside because you talking about getting the bag, but
I ain't. I'm putting my flavor on the shit. I ain't remaking it verbatim.
You put as much flavor as you want on it, my nigga. But the original owner gonna be like, this is already a hit.
Now I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the video, I immediately got upset. And I got upset for a couple of reasons because I hate this conversation when people say like all they're doing is taking our old songs and making it to hits and there's no more creativity, they're getting lazy and all this stuff like that. And to hear producers talking about it as if they aren't the ones like producing the songs, it's already whatever to me. But I think that idea of that is a couple of things. One, I think it is a lazy take. And it's a lazy take because that has always happened in hip hop. From the beginning, they have taken popular songs and did what they said that they do. That has happened all the time. It's not a new thing. But the thing is, like, they just forget. It happens all the time, Older generations criticize the younger generation and saying they're just copying us and stuff like that. That happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, Diddy, his whole foundation was taking hits from the 80s and making it hot in the 90s. That's literally what he did. They said it. May said it in the song. Like, what is it? It feels so good. Whatever song it is, he literally said it. So I think that it bothers me when you see people say these type of statements because I'm like, y'all are literally saying the same thing they said about y'all. Like, y'all don't see the pattern. Like, I don't know. For me, it bothers me for that. But also, when I hear a statement that like sampling is lazy now, I think it's anti-hip hop because that is literally what hip hop is founded on. It is literally founded on sampling, like jazz songs, blues songs, old rock songs, like looping songs. Like, this has been there from the beginning. Like, the amount of times that James Brown's Funky Drummer has been sampled, like that might be the most important hip hop song not even a hip hop song. The most important song in hip hop history. And it's not a hip hop song because of the amount of songs that have sampled it. Like F the Police sampled it, Let Me Ride sampled it, Fight the Power. I think Public Enemy sampled them a couple times. Rebel with the Pause by them. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. What's that LL Cool J song? Mama Said Knock You Out sampled them. Jazzo, the originator. That's like, there's so many songs. I can go on. There are so many songs who sample the Funky Drummer because sampling is hip hop. There is no hip hop without sampling. So to say that sampling is lazy and stuff like that, I personally think it's a lazy take, but I also think it is anti hip hop. Like, I think a lot of people forget how young hip hop is. Like, hip hop is over 50 some years. Like, hip hop is the same age as like my parents. You feel me? Like, young. I think people forget that, you know. The boom of hip hop is in the 90s. When it really took off, it's in the 90s. So I think people forget that is pretty young for a genre. Like, rock has been around forever. R&B has been around forever. Country has been around forever. Hip hop is relatively young. You know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop was around for 50 years, but like its peak when it took off is like the mid 90s, early 90s to now. So hip hop thriving in this space and being as popular as it is, it's only like 30 something years if we're being real. I know it's been around for 50, but like hip hop being like what it is, it's only been like 30 something years. And I'm 32. So basically my whole life is when hip hop has been like where it's at. So I think that, like, of course they're going to sample the songs that came out when I was a kid, because the kids who are coming up now, to them, that is a throwback. To them, that is an older song. I know a lot of people hate to hear it, but that's what it is. You know, they have always done this. Nostalgia always wins. It always wins. That's why they take popular songs and sample it and redo it. But there's also a lot of people who have sampled songs and they've done it in such a creative way. Like Ninth Wonder, like his Rhythm Roulette episode of him sampling is a master class on how to sample. But that's not how you don't have to be Ninth Wonder either, though. That's the thing. You don't have to sample like him. You can sample like however you want. That's what makes this art form beautiful. But like to say, oh, sampling is getting lazy, sampling is trash, all they're doing is remaking our songs. That is kind of what sampling is. You take other songs and make it into a new creation. That is what sampling is. I think a lot of people are just upset that it's like the memories when they were a kid, the songs when they were a kid is now getting sampled. But I think they should take that and be like, yes, that is a great step for the art form. That is a good sign that those songs now can live on. Like, if you would have told me that like Hot in Here by Nelly would begin getting sampled, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, that's crazy. Because when you hear that song and you're in the moment, you don't think anything of it. You don't think that like how it's gonna look when you get a little bit older. You don't think about those things. But I think it is insane to keep these conversations alive when they keep saying sampling is lazy. Sampling is not lazy. I think it actually takes real skill to sample a song. Even if somebody is taking basically the whole song, if they can create a hit, I think that is a hard skill. It is not easy to make a hit. If it was easy, everybody would have a hit. That is hard. But also, why does the artist always get the blame? The producers are the ones making the beat. They're the ones presenting this. I just don't get this conversation. Again, hip hop is a young art form. It is new. Of course, the popular songs when I was a kid and when you were a kid, if you grew up in the 90s or was an adult in the 90s, are going to be sampled. That's just what it is. Sampling has always had people who did stuff like that, though. There's always been the people like Diddy who's going to take a popular song and just flip it. But there's always been somebody like a Madlib, like a Dilla, like a Ninth Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like a Crit nowadays, Soundwave nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Alchemist. Like there's always been these people. I think these conversations are not made in good spirit. I think these conversations are made in just to bash the new generation or bash the artists now. Like you even see like an artist like Timbaland saying like AI is more creative than these artists now. And to me, that's crazy. That's a little disrespectful. Not a little, a lot disrespectful when you think about it, because AI literally takes from these artists to make that art form. They're taking from the artists to make the art form. So to say AI is more creative than these artists is crazy. You know, that's just my issue with Timbaland. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of issues with him. But sampling is not lazy. Saying sampling is lazy is a lazy take and anti hip hop. Hip hop was literally built on sampling. So saying that statement to me is ignorant, anti hip hop, and I need these producers and artists, people with platforms to do better when saying statements like this. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta like it. But it's a good sign that they are sampling these popular songs. That means the art form has been around for a while. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy who talks into a microphone.